How do you tell if someone is attracted to you or just being very friendly? If they ask you to take off your clothes, chances are they are just being friendly. If they act the exact same way with other people, you're out of luck. This is actually how I came to be with my current girlfriend. Totally thought she was flirting when I first met her, so I invited her to hang out. I thought we were going on dates the first 4 to 5 times. She just thought we were hanging out as friends. I found out later that she is that friendly to everyone she meets and has a ton of friends, so this wasn't unusual to her. I eventually picked up that things weren't romantic, told her about the whole thing and we laughed about it. Things stayed that way for a few months and we remained friends. Then one day we were watching a movie and she asked if I wanted to make out. Not sure what shifted the gears. Pretty rad though. As my dear old dad used to say, women who work for tips are not flirting with you. We used to extend this to if she's being paid to talk to you, she's not interested. By reading someone's comment on Reddit about how they missed all the signs, and then you realize that the same thing happened to you, and now you lie there contemplating your life. But you still can't be sure. Yeah, maybe she's Canadian, and she's just being polite. Yeah, how am I to know if her kissing my nipples is a sign that she likes me? I automatically assume people are being friendly. It's habit. I used to, and retrospectively I see that I missed a shitload of opportunities. You don't. One person's just being friendly is another's take me to a hotel and fuck me right now. Someone tells you years later. They tell you years later, after you've moved hours away, and it turns out she never said anything because she thought you had feelings for her other friend who you didn't have feelings for. She was just sexually harassing you in the middle of English class. You need to have just got engaged the week before too. And have kids with your fiancé. Flirting's basically a dumb game of chicken with gradual escalation, or just ask if they have a significant other, usually pretty obvious. Usually how it goes. Hazes, do you have a girlfriend? No. Why not? Well, if I fucking knew that, I would fix it and get one. Do they ever initiate the friendliness? Responding to someone else's kindness is a lot different than initiating it, but even still the only sure way to know is to ask. I was once called into hours for allegedly flirting with an employee, not part of my own team. Her proof: I was always friendly, offered her milk to go with her coffee, and worst of all, once at an after work, I bought a round of drinks for everyone, her included. The head of ours was a bit puzzled about the whole situation and asked her what would she then suggest we do to resolve the situation, and she requested that I would stop being friendly to her and just leave her be. This poor woman just could not accept that I was being friendly. One time I was lost in my school and went to ask a girl for directions. She immediately responded with "I'm taken," like it was a sitcom or something. I eventually found the room. One time I couldn't find an open seat on a bus, so I just asked the first person I saw if I could sit next to them. She responded with "I already have a boyfriend." I just stood there, dumbfounded. I wanted to sit down, not fucking date you. If they are a cashier / waiter / clerk etc., don't get your hopes up. No, the stripper is not attracted to you. I beg to differ. I have a massive gravitational pull. Pro tip: you'll never know if you don't ask. You don't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is. This is number 1. There was a waitress at a bar that my buddies and I had for like a year. I was into her, but couldn't tell how she felt. She was always fun and flirty, but I realized when she would first walk up to our table, laugh or make a joke, she would look at me. I assumed that meant there was at least a chance she liked me, so I asked her out, and she said yes. She was beautiful, had a great figure, and was super down to earth. She also turned out to be someone who loudly cheered at high points of movies, and I just don't need that in my life. We went our separate ways. I had this exact situation happen to me before, so I asked her out. She gave me her number and mentioned that she and her boyfriend were going to a funeral tomorrow, so she wouldn't be around. What kind of response was that? Wow, she's really not into you. Assume attraction and ask them out. If they say no, you get your answer. If they say yes, you get a date. It's not always easy. With my fiance, when we started hanging out I would convince myself she liked me and then talk myself out of it. I would walk her home and she'd give me a really awkward friend hug then run inside, leaving me feeling like I'd misread the signals completely. This went on for about 3 weeks before we finally kissed at a party. I asked her about it afterwards and it turns out she was doing the same thing. 7 years and a proposal later, I think she might have a crush on me, guys. I dunno, man. In high school I went to a dance with a guy's friends, and then he kissed me as friends, and then we brutally fucked behind the gym as friends and we've been dating as friends for about 7 years and we are getting married next week as friends plus I'm knocked up with his babies, as friends. You can never really know, man. Some people are in it for the long con. When I met my last girlfriend our eyes met across a crowded dance floor. She rolled her eyes at me, so I picked them up and rolled them back. Well, you can't ever really know, like even if she sleeps with you, she might just be Canadian, so honestly you shouldn't get your hopes up, and you better keep looking and wondering. She was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. This much is true. By how they look at you, or act around you vs other people. Not sure why I had to scroll halfway down the page to find the correct answer. To add something of substance, if she looks at you more than other people around, pays more attention to what you say than others, smiles more at you and or stays looking after another person starts talking, she likes you. Not everybody has the same body language, but that type of stuff is a dead giveaway. This should be higher up. If you're in a crowded room, bus, school setting, office meeting, etc., the best indicator is they keeping looking at you or stealing glances at you. Basically, put yourself in their shoes. A really cute, attractive girl is sitting across from you. What are you going to do? Look at her. If you are already friends or casual acquaintances, then the next common sign, especially for girls, is touching. Things like playful shoulder pats, hugs that go on for a second too long, ruffling your hair, touching your arm when they laugh, sitting next to you, and leaning a bit closer against you than normal, finding excuses to touch your arm or face. For instance, you have some food on your cheek, let me rub it off for you. Obviously it varies massively person to person, but the two most universal hints are frequently looking at you, and then above average touching, compared to how often your average friend would be randomly touching you. Step 1. Cut a hole in a box. Step 2. Put your junk in the box. Step 3. Make her open the box. And that's the way you do it. When she asked me out, I was skeptical. When we slept together, more likely, but can't be too sure. When we got married, I'm pretty sure she likes me. Oh, that's easy. No one is ever attracted to me. I've noticed women that have been interested in me have started a random conversation with me, like asking advice about something. If a woman compliments you on something, could be your eyes, or your jacket, or pretty much anything, that might be a clue. Women play with hair, or adjust it more, making more than usual eye contact. Also, if you are sitting next to them, and their knees are pointing a bit towards you, that is a sign. As well, if they get under a table and start giving you head, also a clue. Easiest way, ask them out on a few dates, have sex with them, start a relationship, take them out some more, go to fancy dinners and parties, take them on holiday and stuff like that. Then, after you've tried that for a few years, ask them if they want to marry you. If they say yes, they're probably interested. It's not always easy to tell, and I think I'm especially bad at it. For example, here is a story I shared related to this. My sophomore year of high school I had a couple of classes with this girl I had a crush on. Because teachers loved using alphabetical order there, she and I ended up sitting next to each other in those classes. We start passing notes in those classes, talking about random stuff and being a bit flirty. One day I decide to get the courage to ask if she wanted to go out with me to a movie or something. So, I ask her out in one of our notes. She replies saying that she's really sorry, but she doesn't like me in that type of way. I was devastated of course, but I also liked her as a friend and didn't want to lose that. So I replied saying that was okay and asking if we could just forget I asked and keep things the way they were because class would be so boring without our talks. She said yeah, that was fine, and we stayed note buddies throughout the year. Fast forward to my senior year, I had to repeat algebra because I fucked up really badly my junior year due to some personal issues. I'm in a class with a bunch of people the grade under me, and I get seated next to this girl named Kate that I thought was so pretty. Like with the other girl, we ended up passing notes to each other in class, and I come to find out not only did I find her physically attractive, but she was also a really awesome person with similar interests. I really liked this girl and crushed hard on her throughout the year. I would make her mix CDs that she would tell me she loved, and she even made me one a couple of times. I'd share with her stories I wrote and also art I was working on. The best part of my day was getting to talk with her during homeroom/algebra. But I was scared of even trying to ask her out because of how I misinterpreted things last time, so I never did. Came really close a couple of times, but never did. A year and a half after I graduated, I'm dating a girl from the same class as her who had been a friend of mine for a couple of years. We are hanging out with this other girl who was also in my math class, and she brings up Kate and asks why we never dated. I told her I didn't think she thought of me that way, and she was like, "Are you kidding me? She was so into you." At that time it didn't really matter anymore because I was in a relationship and there was nothing I could do about it, but it did frustrate just how bad I was at reading signals. I mean, I'm still pretty bad at it, but I wish I had at least tried with Kate. Friend of mine married a girl light years out of his league. How did they meet? He thought she was hot in the hallway at school, walked up to her and asked her out. She said yes, and the rest is history. I'm talking like way out of his league, guys. It's almost hard to clearly depict for you how hot this girl was compared to him. Nothing against him, he is a great guy, but like shit she was so hot. Yes, I'm jealous. The point is, confidence can be much more heavily weighted in some women than attractiveness. You just gotta go for it. For all you know, she's attracted to 5 feet 3 inches skinny Harry Potter looking goofy ass dudes and will marry them instead of his much more attractive friend. The friendly honest approach has worked for me. You seem really nice. Someone I'd like to go out with, if you'd like that too. If they are already spoken for or disinterested, they'll let you know. Either way, I've noticed that they seem to appreciate the attention if they sense you're being sincere. Thank you so much for listening. Please, support the channel by subscribing. I know you didn't subscribe lol. But seriously, please subscribe and like the video. Thanks.